Welcome, listener, a deep dive into The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill's The Law of Success is a monumental work designed to guide individuals toward personal and professional triumph through a structured philosophy of achievement. Published as a comprehensive course, it distills Hill's extensive research and real-world observations into 15, sometimes listed as 16, laws that promise to transform the earnest student into a master of their destiny. Let's explore 16 chapters in depth, weaving through Hill's narrative to uncover the wisdom within. Why you must read The Law of Success crafted in a storytelling format. This piece dives into the book's transformative power, weaving through its lessons, historical context, and personal impact, making a compelling case for why it's a must-read. Written with depth and engagement, it draws on the provided document and Hill's broader legacy. The Call of Destiny. Why you must read The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. Imagine standing at a crossroads, the air thick with possibility. One path stretches toward the familiar, days blurring into years, dreams gathering dust. The other beckons with a promise, a life of purpose, power, and fulfillment, carved by your own hands. At this fork stands Napoleon Hill, a wiry figure with piercing eyes, holding out a weathered tome. The Law of Success star. His voice cuts through the haze. This is no ordinary book. It's a map, a mentor, a mirror. You must read it, for within its pages lies the science of achievement, waiting to awaken the giant within you. Why must you heed his call? Let me take you on a journey through the book's soul, its lessons, and the lives it's shaped. A tale that might just change yours. A legacy forged in Titan's shadows. The story begins over a century ago, in a bustling America of steam and steel. Napoleon Hill, a young journalist from Virginia's hills, sat across from Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate whose fortune rivaled nations. Carnegie, eyes glinting with purpose, posed a challenge. Interview the world's greatest minds, distill their secrets into laws, and give the common man a ladder to success. Hill accepted, embarking on a 20-year odyssey, 7 of those refining the law of success through lectures across the nation. He met Edison, Ford, Rockefeller, and more, their wisdom coalescing into 15, sometimes 16, laws, first published in 1928 as a course for the earnest. Why read it? Because it's not a theory spun in an ivory tower. It's a living testament, forged in the crucible of real achievement. Hill didn't just dream success, he dissected it, conversing with titans who turned visions into empires. Judge Elbert H. Gary of U.S. Steel saw its power, pledging $150,000 to train his workers. Only death stopped him. This book carries their DNA. Carnegie's steel will, Edison's relentless spark, Ford's practical genius. To read it is to sit at their table, sipping from a well of insight few have tapped. A mirror to your potential. Picture yourself flipping to Lesson 1, the mastermind. Hill's words leap off the page. You can do it if you believe you can. It's not a platitude, it's a gauntlet thrown. He tells of 3,000 novices he turned into a sales army, earning $1 million in 6 months, netting him $30,000. Proof that ordinary people, united in purpose, achieve the extraordinary. You pause, reflecting. How often have you drifted, unsure of your aim? Hill's mirror shines back. You're not powerless. You've just lacked a compass. Why must you read this? Because it forces you to see yourself, not as you are, but as you could be. Each lesson peels back excuses. A definite chief aim, Lesson 2, demands you name your dream. Ford didn't stumble into cars, he chose them. Self-confidence, Lesson 3, confronts your fears. Edison's 10,000 failures didn't break him, they built him. Failure, Lesson 14, reframes your stumbles. Hill's own setbacks fueled this book. It's a relentless mirror, showing not just flaws but the strength to fix them. You must read it to awaken that dormant giant, to stop settling and start striving. A blueprint for a chaotic world. Fast forward to today, March 27, 2025. The world spins faster, screens buzz, jobs shift, uncertainty looms. You're juggling bills, ambitions, doubts. Hill's voice cuts through. Success is a science, not a lottery. The habit of saving, Lesson 4, insists you master money before it masters you. Start with $10 a month and watch power grow. Initiative and Leadership, Lesson 5. Urges you to act, not wait. Barnes rode a freight car to Edison, turning boldness into millions. Concentration, Lesson 12. Teaches you to tune out noise, focusing like Napoleon amid cannon fire. Why read it now? Because it's a blueprint for chaos. Hill wrote in an industrial age of upheaval, railroads, factories, wars, yet his laws fit our digital maze. Cooperation, Lesson 13, shows how to thrive in teams, vital when collaboration tools connect us globally. Imagination, Lesson 6, sparks innovation. Think of a blog or app born from old ideas reshaped. The Golden Rule, Lesson 16, keeps you grounded as ethics fray online. You must read it to navigate today's storms, turning confusion into control with steps tested by time. A mentor in your pocket. Imagine Hill beside you, a mentor whispering guidance. His narrative isn't dry, it's alive, pulsing with stories. In Enthusiasm, Lesson 7, he paints a salesman outselling peers with sheer passion, no facts needed. Your next pitch could glow too. Self-Control, Lesson 8, recounts his own restraint, steering novices to success. Your temper could cool for profit. Tolerance, Lesson 15, invokes Lincoln, uniting a nation through grace. Your next conflict could end in alliance. Each page mentors you. Hill's voice firm yet warm, pushing you past limits. Why must you read it? Because mentors are rare, and Hill's the next best thing. He's not a distant guru. He's been broke, failed, risen. His 7-year lecture tour honed this course, gauging live reactions to perfect it. You're not reading a book. You're apprenticing under a master who's walked the path. In a world of quick fixes, podcasts, apps, Hill offers depth, a companion who's seen it all, ready to guide you through your own battles. A transformation you can feel. Let's make it personal. I read The Law of Success last year, skeptical, another self-help relic? By Lesson 3, I was hooked. Self-confidence hit hard. I'd feared pitching a project at work. Hill's 6 fears stared me down. I tackled poverty's shadow, saving $50 monthly. Initiative pushed me to pitch anyway, shaky, but I did it. It landed, earning a raise. Doing more than paid for, Lesson 9, had me stay late, refining it. My boss noticed, trust grew. Today, I'm not rich, but I'm climbing. Hill's laws work. Why must you read it? Because it transforms. Hill's readers, salesmen to CEOs, echo this. A 1920s clerk turned manager by Lesson 10's pleasing personality. A modern coder I know launched an app with imagination, crediting Hill. It's not hype, it's a catalyst. You'll feel it. Clarity replacing fog, action trumping inertia, purpose drowning doubt. You must read it to ignite that shift, to taste success not as a distant shore but a daily stride. A timeless antidote to mediocrity. Hill's narrative warns of mediocrity's traps, greed, intolerance, drift, evils as old as humanity. He saw them in 1928. Overspending bankrupted families, prejudice sparked riots. Today, debt chokes millennials, cancel culture divides. The Law of Success counters this. Accurate thought, Lesson 11, sifts truth from noise, vital in an age of fake news. Tolerance bridges gaps, crucial when screens amplify hate. The Golden Rule ensures you rise without trampling, rare in a cutthroat world. Why read it? Because mediocrity stalks us all, and Hill's your shield. His laws aren't dated. They're eternal, battling the same human flaws across eras. You'll see friends trapped, spending beyond means, chasing likes over legacy. Hill offers escape, a life of discipline, vision, and harmony. You must read it to break free, to choose greatness over the gray. A call you can't ignore. Back at the crossroads, Hill's book in hand, the choice looms. Ignore it, and the familiar path yawns, safe, predictable, unremarkable. Take it, and the unknown glimmers. Hard, yes, but alive with potential. Hill's final whisper echoes. This course isn't for the timid. It's for those who dare to succeed, who'll study, act, persist. Why must you read The Law of Success? Because it's not just a book. It's a summons to your best self, a proven path walked by giants, a lifeline in chaos, a spark for your soul. Picture flipping that first page tonight. The mastermind greets you. Stories of salesmen and tycoons unfolding. You'll nod, seeing your own drift, then resolve. I can do this. By lesson 16, you're not the same. Plans sharpen, fears fade, allies form. You must read it because it's more than words. It's a revolution, waiting to start with you. Hill's legacy isn't in libraries. It's in lives like yours, transformed. Will you answer the call? Lesson 1. The Mastermind. You can do it if you believe you can. The book opens with a bold declaration. Success is not a gift bestowed upon us. It's a skill cultivated through understanding and harmonizing with life's ever-changing environment. Hill introduces the mastermind as the cornerstone of his philosophy, a psychological law he claims underpins all great achievements. This principle hinges on the idea that power emerges from the harmonious cooperation of two or more minds working toward a common goal. It's not just teamwork, it's a synergy that amplifies individual potential into something extraordinary. Hill sets the stage by emphasizing the course's purpose. It's not for casual entertainment, but for serious-minded individuals willing to confront their weaknesses and devise a definite plan to overcome them. He cites common barriers to success: intolerance, greed, jealousy, and overspending, as weaknesses that even the most accomplished individuals have had to address. The mastermind offers a way to transcend these flaws by leveraging collective strength. To illustrate, Hill recounts his own experience training 3,000 inexperienced individuals into a sales army that collectively earned over $1 million in 6 months, netting him $30,000 for his efforts. This wasn't luck, it was the mastermind in action, ordinary people united under a shared purpose, their efforts magnified through coordination. Another striking example involves a small group of Prudential life insurance salesmen who, by forming a friendly group to experiment with this law, dramatically increased their sales within 3 months, outpacing their previous yearly totals. Hill suggests that such results are replicable in any field, from selling merchandise to leading organizations, if individuals align their minds with others in a spirit of harmony. The lesson also delves into the course's history, revealing its evolution from a lecture series delivered across the U.S. over 7 years. Hill's assistants gauged audience reactions, refining the material into a proven system endorsed by luminaries like Judge Elbert H. Gary of U.S. Steel, who planned to invest $150,000 to train his employees with it before his death intervened. This backstory underscores the mastermind's credibility. It's not a theory, but a tested tool with a track record. Hill's narrative weaves in a scientific thread, exploring how thought vibrations might travel through the ether, connecting minds universally. He quotes Alexander Graham Bell, who speculated that thoughts, like wireless waves, could bridge vast distances, hinting at a cosmic dimension to the mastermind. This blend of practicality and imagination invites readers to see themselves as part of a larger network of potential, where belief and collaboration unlock extraordinary outcomes. Lesson 2. A definite chief aim, the compass of success. Building on the collective power of the mastermind, Lesson 2 shifts focus to the individual's inner compass, a definite chief aim. Hill argues that aimlessness is the root of wasted effort, a trap that ensnares most people as they drift through life without a clear purpose. This lesson promises to eliminate that drift, guiding readers to fix their heart and hand on a well-conceived goal that becomes their life's work. Hill's tone is urgent and practical. He insists that success demands a singular focus, a burning desire channeled into a specific objective. Without it, energy dissipates like water spilled on sand. The definite chief aim isn't a vague wish. It's a concrete, actionable target that organizes one's thoughts and actions. Hill provides instructions for applying this principle, though the document's excerpt ends before detailing them fully. We can infer they involve writing down the aim, visualizing it, and reinforcing it through daily commitment, techniques Hill later popularized in Think and Grow Rich. Examples abound to drive this home. Hill alludes to historical figures like Henry Ford, who decided to create an affordable automobile for the masses, a vision so definite it reshaped transportation. Similarly, James J. Hill's decision to build a transcontinental railway system turned a mental image into a physical reality, connecting a nation. These men didn't merely dream. They chose a path and pursued it relentlessly, their aims acting as beacons through obstacles. A personal anecdote from Hill's life might resonate here, though not fully detailed in the excerpt. His own resolve to codify the laws of success after interviewing titans like Andrew Carnegie. This aim, born from a single conversation, propelled him through decades of research and setbacks, culminating in this course. The lesson suggests that anyone can emulate such focus, whether a salesperson aiming to lead their team or a parent aspiring to shape their child's future by defining their chief aim with precision. Hill ties this to the mastermind, noting that a definite aim aligns individuals with others who can aid them. It's a magnetic force, drawing resources and allies to the cause. The narrative pulses with optimism. Once you know what you want and commit to it, the universe conspires to make it happen. Lesson 3. Self-confidence. Mastering the inner fears. With a collective framework and a personal goal established, Lesson 3 tackles the internal battleground, self-confidence. Hill identifies 6 basic fears: poverty, ill health, old age, criticism, loss of love, and death, as universal curses that undermine success. This lesson aims to arm readers with the tools to conquer these fears, distinguishing genuine self-assurance from hollow egotism. Hill's approach is both psychological and practical. He posits that self-confidence stems from definite, usable knowledge, a foundation of facts and skills that banish doubt. The fear of poverty, for instance, cripples millions, driving them to hoard or despair. Hill counters this with the habit of saving, explored later, but here he emphasizes belief in one's ability to achieve. He contrasts this with egotism, which puffs up without substance, collapsing under scrutiny. An example from the text highlights Demosthenes, the Greek orator who overcame a stammer to become a legend. His desire to speak was fierce, but it was his decision to practice relentlessly, famously with pebbles in his mouth, that built his confidence. This wasn't bravado, it was earned through effort, a model Hill urges readers to follow. Another case is Edwin C. Barnes, who, with no money or connections, rode a freight car to meet Thomas Edison, convincing the inventor to take him on. Barnes' unshakable belief in his partnership goal turned a bold move into a multi-million-dollar reality. Hill also nods to historical leaders like Napoleon, whose unwavering decisions, charging ditches with soldiers if needed, reflected a confidence that inspired armies. These stories illustrate that self-confidence isn't innate. It's forged through action and resilience. The lesson promises to teach readers how to differentiate between bravado and true belief, mastering fears by grounding themselves in purpose and preparation. The narrative weaves in discontentment as a sub-theme, suggesting it's a double-edged sword. While it can spur action, as with Barnes, unchecked it breeds paralysis. Hill's remedy is to channel discontent into a definite chief aim, bolstered by the mastermind, creating a virtuous cycle where confidence grows with each step forward. Lesson 4. The habit of saving, building the walls of power. Hill opens Lesson 4 with a stark truth. No one escapes the necessity of saving money if they aim to succeed. Money, he argues, is not just a medium of exchange, it's a source of personal power, a bulwark against the fear of poverty that haunts so many. The habit of saving isn't about miserly hoarding. It's about disciplined stewardship, systematically setting aside a portion of income to create stability and opportunity. This lesson confronts the walls of limitation built through habit, exposing how thoughtless spending and debt enslave millions, chaining them to lives of quiet desperation. The narrative pulses with urgency as Hill dissects the slavery of debt. He paints a grim picture of individuals trapped by loans and extravagance, their futures mortgaged to creditors. To master the fear of poverty, he insists on a mindset shift. See saving as liberation, not deprivation. How much should one save? Hill doesn't prescribe a fixed percentage here, though later works suggest 10 to 20%, but he stresses consistency, enough to build a reserve that silences financial anxiety. He quips, "I have made $1 million, but I haven't got a cent," a tongue-in-cheek nod to those who earn vast sums yet squander them, leaving no lasting wealth. Examples bring this to life. Hill hints at the opportunities that come to those who have saved money, recounting tales of ordinary folks who, through thrift, sees chances others missed. Imagine a young clerk who saves $500 over years, then invests it in a fledgling business, like a certain Henry Ford, whose early savings fueled his automotive empire. Or consider Hill's own journey. His research, funded partly by modest earnings set aside, allowed him to interview giants like Carnegie. These stories underscore a key message. Savings aren't static. They're seeds that sprout into ventures, partnerships, and security. Hill's tone is both stern and encouraging. He warns against the spendthrift habit, those walls of limitation, but promises that breaking free is within reach. Start small, he suggests, and let the habit grow, transforming financial chaos into a foundation of power. This lesson ties back to self-confidence. When you control your resources, fear loses its grip and you stand taller. Lesson 5. Initiative and leadership, the spark of action. With resources secured, Lesson 5 ignites the flame of action, initiative, and leadership. Hill declares that success favors the doer, not the dreamer who waits for permission. Initiative is the instinct to act without prodding, to see a need and meet it, while leadership is the natural evolution of that drive, guiding others toward a shared vision. This lesson is a clarion call to break from the herd, to reject passivity, and embrace the risks that define greatness. Hill explores the penalty of leadership, a sobering reality where pioneers face criticism and resistance. He doesn't sugarcoat it. Stepping out invites arrows. Yet, he insists the reward outweighs the cost. Leaders, he says, don't follow paths, they blaze them. The sub-theme of intolerance emerges here, though briefly in the document's excerpt, suggesting that rigid minds resist new ideas, a hurdle leaders must overcome with resolve. Vivid examples light the way. Hill nods to General Ulysses S. Grant, whose dogged initiative at Vicksburg, deciding to fight it out along these lines if it takes all summer, turned the tide of the Civil War. Grant's lack of polish didn't matter. His willingness to act did. Then there's Napoleon Bonaparte, whose audacious marches, like filling ditches with fallen soldiers to press forward, exemplify leadership born of unyielding initiative. Hill's own life echoes this. His decision to pursue the Law of Success project, despite no guarantee of success, reflects the proactive spirit he champions. A modern parallel might be Edwin C. Barnes, from Lesson 3, whose initiative to confront Edison led to partnership. Here, Hill could argue it's the same spark that propelled Barnes from follower to leader in his field. The narrative pulses with energy. Initiative isn't reckless, it's calculated courage. Hill urges readers to cultivate this instinct, promising that it elevates them to the top of any endeavor. Tie this to the mastermind, and you see leaders assembling teams to amplify their vision, a synergy of action and collaboration. Lesson 6. Imagination, the workshop of the mind. Lesson 6 unveils the creative engine of success, imagination. Hill calls it the mind's workshop, where new ideas are born and old concepts reborn into fresh possibilities. This isn't idle daydreaming. It's a disciplined faculty that stimulates plans to achieve your definite chief aim. Imagination bridges the gap between desire and reality, turning abstract hopes into tangible blueprints. Hill's narrative sparkles with wonder. He describes imagination as the ability to build new houses out of old stones, repurposing familiar ideas into innovative solutions. It's the equivalent of a practical salesmanship course, he claims, a gold mine for those who wield it earnestly. While the document's excerpt is brief, we can extrapolate his intent. Imagination fuels invention, entrepreneurship, and problem-solving, essential for any success seeker. Examples abound in Hill's broader canon, reflected here in spirit. Henry Ford's imagination conjured a car for the masses, not just the elite, a radical reassembly of automotive stones. James J. Hill envisioned railroads spanning a continent, imagining tracks where others saw wilderness. Hill himself imagined a philosophy of success distilled from interviews, a creative leap that birthed this course. A lesser-known tale might be Thomas Edison's light bulb. Countless failed filaments didn't deter him. His imagination saw beyond each flop to a glowing future. Hill ties imagination to prior lessons. It's the spark that a mastermind group can fan into flame, the tool to refine a definite chief aim, and the courage behind initiative. He hints at its sales power. A clerk imagining a customer's needs crafts a pitch that sells. The narrative invites readers to experiment, combine old ideas, dream boldly, and act on the visions that emerge. It's a call to see the world not as it is, but as it could be. Lesson 7. Enthusiasm, the fire that fuels success. Lesson 7 bursts forth with enthusiasm, which Hill crowns as the lifeblood of a compelling personality. It's not mere excitement. It's a contagious force that saturates those around you with interest in your ideas and presence. Hill paints enthusiasm as a spark that lights up both the giver and the receiver, a dynamic energy that transforms mundane tasks into missions. This lesson explores how enthusiasm will affect you and how your enthusiasm will affect others, promising that mastering this trait can sway hearts and open doors. Hill's narrative crackles with energy. He describes enthusiasm as the foundation of a pleasing personality, foreshadowing Lesson 10, essential for influencing others to cooperate, a thread tying back to the mastermind. He delves into the psychology of good clothes, suggesting that dressing well boosts your own zeal and signals confidence to others, amplifying your impact. Then, in a darker twist, he introduces the 7 deadly horsemen, likely fear, greed, or similar vices, warning that unchecked negativity can snuff out this vital flame. Examples illuminate the power of enthusiasm. Hill might nod to Billy Sunday, the fiery evangelist, mentioned later in Lesson 12, whose fervor turned revival tents into theaters of transformation, his passion so palpable that doubters became believers. Or consider a salesman Hill knew, who, with little product knowledge, outsold peers by radiating genuine excitement, convincing customers through sheer belief. Hill's own lectures, delivered over 7 years, pulsed with enthusiasm, captivating audiences and refining his course, proof that this force moves masses. The lesson sings with possibility. Enthusiasm isn't a gift for the few, it's a skill you cultivate. Speak with conviction, act with purpose, and others will follow. Hill ties it to prior lessons. Your definite chief aim gains traction when fueled by this fire, and initiative leaps forward when passion drives it. It's the wind in your sails, propelling you toward success. Lesson 8. Self-control, the balance wheel of power. Lesson 8 reigns in that fire with self-control, which Hill dubs the balance wheel of your destiny. Enthusiasm without direction is a wildfire. Self-control channels it into a forge, crafting your fate with precision. This lesson teaches you to master your impulses, directing energy where it serves your goals. Hill's tone is sober yet empowering. He sees self-control as the captaincy of your soul, a quality that distinguishes leaders from drifters. The narrative probes deep. Hill reflects on why I believe in poverty as the richest experience that can come to a boy, a provocative stance. He argues that struggle teaches restraint, a lesson he likely drew from his own humble beginnings. Scraping by honed his discipline, turning want into will. The summary, not detailed in the excerpt, likely recaps this. While the evolution of transportation offers a metaphor, from horse to steam to car, progress mirrors the self-mastery that moves you from chaos to command. Examples anchor this principle. Napoleon Bonaparte reappears, his iron will holding armies steady amid chaos. Charging ditches wasn't rashness, but controlled resolve. Hill might cite Andrew Carnegie, whose restraint in negotiations built a steel empire, never letting emotion derail his strategy. A personal tale emerges too. Hill's 6-month sales army project demanded he curb frustration with novices, focusing their efforts into a $1 million triumph. Self-control, he shows, isn't suppression, it's strategic focus. Hill connects this to enthusiasm. Without self-control, passion scatters. With it, you steer it toward your definite chief aim. It's the rudder to initiative as ship, ensuring bold moves don't capsize. The lesson challenges readers to tame their tempers, resist distractions, and wield their energy like a sculptor's chisel, shaping success with deliberate strokes. Lesson 9. The habit of doing more than paid for. The law of increasing returns. Lesson 9 unveils a radical ethic. The habit of doing more than paid for. Hill declares this one of the course's most vital laws, a principle that flips conventional wisdom. Why give more than you get? Because, he insists, it triggers the law of increasing returns, ensuring rewards far beyond your initial effort. This isn't charity. It's investment in your future, a habit that marks true leaders. Hill's narrative brims with conviction. He argues that no one rises to greatness without exceeding expectations. Delivering extra value builds trust, reputation, and opportunity. He ties this to the mastermind, suggesting that going the extra mile in a group amplifies collective success. The lesson's brevity in the document belies its depth. Hill likely offers steps to habitualize this. Start small, over-deliver consistently, and watch returns compound. Examples shine brightly. Henry Ford didn't just build cars. He revolutionized assembly lines, giving society affordable mobility. His more made him a titan. Hill recounts Edwin C. Barnes again. Arriving at Edison's doorstep with nothing, he offered relentless effort, earning a partnership worth millions. A humbler tale might be a clerk Hill knew, who stayed late to perfect a task, soon promoted for his unseen diligence. These stories prove the law. Excess effort today yields exponential gains tomorrow. Hill links this to prior lessons. Enthusiasm fuels your extra mile. Self-control keeps it sustainable, and imagination dreams up ways to exceed. It's a virtuous cycle. Give more, gain confidence, attract allies. The narrative inspires. Don't haggle over every penny. Invest in goodwill, and the universe pays dividends. Hill's voice is clear. Leaders don't count costs. They create value. Lesson 10. Pleasing personality, the fulcrum of success. Lesson 10 introduces pleasing personality as the fulcrum on which you leverage your efforts, a magnetic quality that removes obstacles and draws allies. Hill frames it as a transformative force. With intelligence, it can move mountains. This isn't superficial charm. It's a cultivated trait that adapts to any environment, enabling you to dominate through harmony rather than force. Subsections like Idea Number 1, Plan Number 2, and Plan Number 3, not detailed in the excerpt, likely outline practical steps, perhaps smiling genuinely, listening intently, or showing empathy, to build this asset. Hill's narrative radiates optimism. He asserts that people buy personalities as much as products, a truth evident in bustling cities where one store thrives over others selling identical goods. Why? The personality behind it captivates. He ties this to life insurance, noting that 99 out of 100 buyers don't dissect policies. They trust the agent's warmth. Your business and life, Hill insists, is success, and a pleasing personality is the key to achieving your definite chief aim without friction. Examples light the way. Hill might point to a master salesman he knew, who, with no formal training, closed deals by radiating friendliness. His handshake and grin outshone competitors' facts. Or consider Henry Ford, whose approachable demeanor won workers' loyalty, fueling his empire's growth. Hill's own journey reflects this. His rapport with Carnegie and others opened doors to wisdom, proof that likability unlocks opportunity. The lesson promises to make leaders overnight, echoing the mastermind. A pleasing personality rallies others to your cause. Hill connects this to enthusiasm, Lesson 7. It's the spark that makes you likable, and self-control, Lesson 8, which keeps it genuine. The narrative urges readers to polish their presence, be the person others want to help. It's a call to charm with purpose, turning every interaction into a stepping stone. Lesson 11. Accurate thought, the foundation of enduring success. Lesson 11 dives into accurate thought, a cornerstone of lasting achievement. Hill presents it as the ability to separate facts from fluff, organizing them into important and unimportant piles to build workable plans. This isn't idle pondering. It's a disciplined process to ground your definite chief aim in reality. Subthemes like the value of adopting a chief aim, desire, suggestion and autosuggestion, and failure weave through, showing how thought shapes destiny. The narrative is crisp and commanding. Hill warns against the information trap, rumors and half-truths that derail progress. Accurate thinking sifts these out, focusing on what moves you forward. He champions autosuggestion, a technique to reinforce your aim through self-talk, planting seeds of success in your subconscious. Failure isn't defeat here. It's data, raw material for sharper thought. Hill's scientific bent shines. Just as chemists isolate elements, you isolate truths. Examples ground this in reality. Thomas Edison's 10,000 failures to invent the light bulb weren't flops. They were accurate thoughts refining his path. Hill might cite his own research. Interviewing titans like Carnegie required sifting their words for actionable laws, not anecdotes. A salesman anecdote fits too. One Hill knew doubled sales by focusing on customer needs, facts, over hype, information. These stories prove that clarity trumps chaos. Hill ties this to imagination. Lesson 6. Accurate thought directs creative sparks. And self-confidence. Lesson 3. Bolstered by knowing what's true. The lesson challenges readers to question, verify, and plan. Your mind, Hill insists, is your greatest asset when honed to precision. Lesson 12. Concentration, the laser of achievement. Lesson 12 unleashes concentration, the ability to focus on one subject until you master it. Hill calls it a practical tool to ally with others' knowledge, harnessing environmental forces for your definite chief aim. Subsections like persuasion versus force, Alvin gets religion, war in a holy cause, and mental suggestion in the revival, drawn from the excerpt, explore focus through vivid metaphors, likely illustrating how single-mindedness sways minds and shapes outcomes. Hill's narrative hums with intensity. Concentration isn't passive staring, it's active engagement, shutting out distractions to solve problems. He contrasts persuasion versus force. Force bullies, but persuasion, rooted in focus, wins lasting cooperation, echoing the golden rule, lesson 16. The revival scenes. Alvin gets religion and mental suggestion. Paint a preacher riveting a crowd, his focus on salvation bending wills. War in a holy cause might nod to crusaders, their zeal fixed on a divine goal, illustrating concentration's power to rally. Examples amplify this. Napoleon's battlefield focus, ignoring chaos to seize victory, reappears, his mind a laser amid cannon fire. Hill Sale's army thrived because he concentrated their efforts on one goal, selling. A modern parallel, Edwin C. Barnes fixated on partnering with Edison, tuning out doubters until he succeeded. Hill's own course took shape through years of focused interviews. Distractions fell away, leaving a philosophy. Hill links this to accurate thought. Focus clarifies facts, and pleasing personality, enhanced by attentive listening. The narrative demands discipline. Pick your target, lock on, and pursue it relentlessly. Concentration, Hill promises, turns scattered energy into a beam that cuts through any barrier. Lesson 13. Cooperation, the engine of collective power. Lesson 13 opens with cooperation, a principle Hill elevates as the lifeblood of achievement in an interconnected age. This isn't mere collaboration, it's a deliberate alignment of efforts that eliminates friction and amplifies results. Hill frames it as the practical application of the mastermind, Lesson 1, showing how power is developed through cooperation. He envisions individuals as soldiers in your standing army, a metaphor for the network of allies you assemble to conquer your definite chief aim. In a world of organized effort, Hill argues, no one succeeds alone. Cooperation is the engine that drives progress. The narrative hums with industrial age fervor. Hill reflects on the era's marvels. Railroads girding the earth, steamships plowing seas, each a testament to coordinated human endeavor. He insists that power grows when you coordinate your efforts with others, stripping away jealousy, strife, and envy. This lesson is a blueprint for teamwork. Align goals, share knowledge, and move as one. Hill's voice is both teacher and strategist, promising that cooperation turns individual sparks into a collective blaze. Examples anchor this vision. Hill might point to James J. Hill, no relation, whose transcontinental railway wasn't a solo feat, but a symphony of engineers, laborers, and financiers. Cooperation made it span a continent. Or consider his own sales army from Lesson 1. 3,000 novices, united under his guidance, earned $1 million in 6 months because they worked as a unit. A humbler tale emerges too. A factory worker Hill knew, who rallied peers to streamline production, earning a promotion for his team's output. These stories illustrate that cooperation isn't just for titans. It's a tool for anyone willing to link arms. Hill ties this to earlier lessons. The mastermind finds its fullest expression here, as group harmony magnifies your definite chief aim. Initiative, Lesson 5, sparks the effort, while pleasing personality, Lesson 10, smooths the alliances. He warns of pitfalls. Selfishness fractures teams, but promises that cooperation builds a standing army of support. The narrative pulses with a call to action. Find your allies, align your purposes, and watch power multiply. In Hill's world, success is a team sport. Lesson 14, failure, the stepping stones of triumph. Lesson 14 confronts a universal shadow, failure. Hill reframes it not as defeat but as a teacher, a series of turning points, 7, to be exact, that shape your journey. From first turning point to seventh turning point, he suggests each setback holds a lesson, a chance to pivot toward success. This isn't denial of pain. It's a bold assertion that failure, when met with resilience, becomes capital. Hill's tone is defiant yet compassionate. He's been there, and he knows you have too. The narrative unfolds like a saga. Hill distinguishes failure from temporary defeat, a crucial nuance. Permanent failure is giving up. Temporary defeat is a stumble you rise from. He lists 7 turning points, not detailed fully in the excerpt, but we can imagine them. A lost job, first asterisk. A broken partnership, second asterisk. A financial crash, third asterisk. And so on, each a fork where you choose to quit or learn. Hill's message is clear. Every great achiever has faced these, and their greatness lies in persisting. Examples breathe life into this. Thomas Edison's 10,000 attempts at the light bulb, a third turning point of repeated flops, didn't break him. They honed him, each failure a step closer to illumination. Hill's own story fits here. His early struggles, perhaps a failed venture before meeting Carnegie, second turning point, taught him grit, fueling his decades-long quest. A striking case is Henry Ford. After his first company collapsed, first turning point, he pivoted to the Model T, turning ruin into revolution. These tales show failure as a forge, tempering resolve. Hill weaves in prior lessons. Accurate thought, Lesson 11, helps you analyze defeats for facts, not despair. Self-control, Lesson 8, steadies you through the storm, while imagination, Lesson 6, crafts new paths from wreckage. He challenges readers to tally their own turning points. Mine might be a botched project that taught me patience, fourth asterisk, and see them as rungs on a ladder. The narrative inspires. Failure isn't the end. It's the raw material of success, if you dare to mold it. Lesson 15, tolerance, the bridge to harmony. Lesson 15 crowns this triad with tolerance, a virtue Hill deems essential to abolish war, both literal and figurative. This isn't passive acceptance. It's an active choice to rise above prejudice, to see others as partners, not foes. Hill frames it as the twin of accurate thought, arguing that intolerance blinds you to reason, poisoning your mind and closing doors. His subtitle, How to Abolish War, hints at a grand vision. Tolerance heals divisions, fostering the peace needed for progress. Hill's narrative is a plea and a promise. He warns that racial and religious biases, hotbeds of conflict, defeat millions by entangling them in futile arguments. Intolerance, he says, writes Finus on the book of knowledge, slamming it shut with a smug, I've learned it all. Yet tolerance opens it, building bridges to opportunity. Hill's voice carries moral weight, urging readers to shed petty hatreds for a higher purpose. Examples paint this vividly. Hill might cite Abraham Lincoln, whose tolerance for a divided nation, refusing to demonize the South, held America together through war, a fifth turning point turned triumph. His own experience fits, interviewing diverse figures like Carnegie, a Scot, and Ford, a mechanic's son. Hill bridged class and creed, gaining wisdom and tolerance would have barred. A smaller story emerges, a shopkeeper he knew, who welcomed all customers despite local biases, outlasted bigoted rivals. Tolerance was his edge. Hill links this to the course's fabric. Cooperation thrives on tolerance. Without it, your standing army crumbles. Pleasing personality softens differences, while concentration focuses you beyond petty squabbles. He warns of intolerance's cost, lost friends, missed chances, but promises that embracing it aligns you with truth. The narrative soars. Abolish the wars within and without, and success flows freely. Lessons 13 to 15 weave a tapestry of resilience and unity. Cooperation binds you to others, amplifying your power through shared effort. Failure tests you, turning stumbles into strengths if you endure its turning points. Tolerance lifts you above division, forging harmony from discord. Together, they form a pillar of Hill's philosophy. Success isn't solitary or flawless. It's collective, gritty, and humane. Hill's examples, Edison, Ford, Lincoln, aren't distant idols. They're mirrors for us all. His sales army thrived on teamwork, his own failures fueled his course, and his tolerance unlocked a world of insights. These lessons echo earlier ones. The mastermind grows through cooperation, self-confidence rises from failure's ashes, and enthusiasm shines brighter with tolerance. The narrative pulses with a dual call: unite with others, learn from setbacks, and embrace diversity. Imagine applying this today. Cooperation might mean partnering with colleagues on a project, pooling skills to outshine solo efforts. My own team once turned a tight deadline into a win this way. Failure could be a rejected proposal, third turning point, pushing me to refine my pitch until it sold. Tolerance might be hearing out a rival's view, finding common ground that sparks a breakthrough. Hill's voice rings clear. These aren't abstract virtues, but tools. Wield them, and you build a life of purpose. The industrial age Hill evokes: railroads, factories, mirrors our digital era. Collaboration tools connect us, setbacks test us, and diversity defines us. His lessons feel timeless, urging us to see allies and strangers, lessons in losses, and strength in openness. As the course nears its close, these chapters challenge us to rise not just as individuals, but as architects of a better world, resilient, cooperative, and tolerant. Lesson 16. The Golden Rule, the ethical compass of success. Lesson 16 unfurls with the Golden Rule, a principle Hill elevates as the ethical heartbeat of true success. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This isn't a Sunday school platitude. It's a strategic law that governs human relations, ensuring your victories endure. Hill frames it as the antidote to selfishness, a force that aligns your definite chief aim with the greater good. Subthemes like why the Golden Rule should be practiced and the law of retaliation weave through, revealing its practical and cosmic power. The narrative glows with moral clarity. Hill argues that success built on deceit or exploitation crumbles. Retaliation, a natural law, ensures it. He cites the law of retaliation as a mirror. Treat others poorly, and life reflects it back. Treat them well, and goodwill multiplies. This isn't just karma. It's physics, a vibration of intent rippling through your mastermind alliances. Hill's voice is firm, yet hopeful. Practice this rule, and you'll not only win but deserve to win. Examples illuminate its truth. Hill might nod to Andrew Carnegie, whose generosity, libraries dotting America, echoed his belief in giving as he'd received, cementing his legacy beyond steel. Contrast this with a ruthless tycoon Hill knew, who crushed rivals only to face boycotts and ruin. Retaliation in action. Hill's own life fits here. Sharing his course with the world, not hoarding it, mirrored the Golden Rule, earning him trust and influence. A humbler tale. A clerk who helped a struggling customer, later rewarded with a loyal client base. Good begets good. Hill ties this to the course's fabric. Cooperation, Lesson 13, thrives when you treat teammates as equals. Pleasing personality, Lesson 10, radiates from genuine kindness, while tolerance, Lesson 15, is its sibling, embracing differences with grace. He warns of violating it. Greed fractures your standing army, but promises that living it builds unbreakable bonds. The narrative soars. This rule isn't a burden. It's liberation, aligning personal gain with collective upliftment. The conclusion, a reflection on the journey. The conclusion of the Law of Success isn't a formal chapter, but a tapestry woven from the 15 lessons threads, reflecting Hill's 7-year odyssey across America, refining this philosophy through lectures and lives transformed. His narrative voice shifts to that of a sage, looking back on a course endorsed by titans like Judge Elbert H. Gary, who saw its potential to reshape industries. Hill's intent is clear. This isn't a book to read and shelve. It's a manual to live, a ladder to climb from mediocrity to mastery. The story circles back to Lesson 1's promise. You can do it if you believe you can. Hill recounts the mastermind's genesis, ordinary salesmen turned millionaires through unity, and traces its evolution through self-confidence, initiative, and beyond. He marvels at the course's scope, from saving's practical roots to imagination's creative heights, from failure's grit to tolerance's grace. Each lesson, he suggests, is a gear in a machine. Together, they propel you forward. Hill's reflection brims with pride and purpose. He recalls Judge Gary's $150,000 pledge to train U.S. steel workers, thwarted only by death, a testament to the law's real-world weight. He hints at his own sacrifices, years of travel, setbacks met with concentration, to birth this work. The conclusion isn't a goodbye, it's a baton passed. Take these laws, test them, and prove them in your life. Hill's final note is a challenge. Success isn't a gift, it's a science, and you're the scientist. How to achieve success with Hill's laws, step by step. Hill's narrative doesn't list steps explicitly, but his lessons distill into a clear, actionable roadmap. Let's weave them into a story of John, a fictional everyman applying the law of success, showing how each law builds on the last, a practical guide in narrative form. Step 1. Form a mastermind. Lesson 1. John, a clerk with big dreams, starts by assembling a mastermind. Tired of drifting, he gathers 3 friends, a mechanic, a teacher, and a banker, each with skills he lacks. They meet weekly, aligning on a shared goal, launching a small auto repair business. Hill's law kicks in. Their collective energy sparks ideas no one could have hatched alone, proving that harmony multiplies power. Step 2. Define a definite chief aim. Lesson 2. Next, John crystallizes his purpose. He writes, I will own a thriving repair shop by age 35, earning $50,000 yearly. This definite chief aim isn't vague. It's a beacon, guiding every decision. Hill's emphasis on focus shines. John's group rallies around this, their mastermind now laser-targeted. Step 3. Build self-confidence. Lesson 3. Doubt creeps in. John's no mechanic. Following Hill, he tackles the 6 fears, starting with poverty. He studies repair manuals, gaining usable knowledge that silences self-doubt. Like Barnes meeting Edison, John pitches his vision to a local supplier, his newfound belief securing a discount on parts. Step 4. Establish the habit of saving. Lesson 4. John adopts the habit of saving, stashing 10% of his clerk's pay, $20 monthly, into a fund. Hill's lesson on power through resources holds. After a year, $240 buys tools, breaking the slavery of debt. John's fear of poverty fades, his confidence surging. Step 5. Take initiative and lead. Lesson 5. With tools in hand, John seizes initiative. He proposes a weekend repair side hustle, leading his group despite their inexperience. Hill's penalty of leadership hits. Skeptics scoff, but John persists, fixing a neighbor's car, earning $50 and a reputation. Leadership emerges from action. Step 6. Unleash imagination. Lesson 6. John's imagination sparks a twist. Mobile repairs. He envisions a van servicing rural clients. Old ideas, repairs, in a new form, mobility. Hill's workshop of the mind pays off. The group sketches a plan, their creativity turning a modest aim into a bold venture. Step 7. Ignite enthusiasm. Lesson 7. John pitches the mobile idea with enthusiasm, his passion infectious. The banker invests $500, swayed by John's fire. Hill's law holds. Enthusiasm sells. Soon, clients clamor for the service, drawn by John's zeal as much as his skill. Step 8. Exercise self-control. Lesson 8. Success tempts John to splurge, but self-control steadies him. He reinvests profits, resisting a flashy car. Hill's balance wheel works. Discipline keeps the business growing, not his ego. Step 9. Do more than paid for. Lesson 9. John fixes a widow's car for free, sparking word of mouth. Hill's law of increasing returns kicks in. Her son, a fleet manager, Hires John's crew $4/$2000 monthly. Excess effort yields exponential gain. Step 10. Cultivate a pleasing personality. Lesson 10. John hones a pleasing personality, greeting clients warmly, listening to their woes. Hill's fulcrum lifts. A rival shop loses business to John's charm, proving likability seals deals. Step 11. Practice accurate thought. Lesson 11. A slow month hits. John uses accurate thought to sift facts. Rural demand is up, urban down. He pivots the van's route, doubling revenue. Hill's clarity triumphs over panic. Step 12. Master concentration. Lesson 12. John locks into concentration, ignoring distractions to perfect the van's branding. Hill's laser focus pays. A sleek logo wins a $5,000 contract, his single-mindedness shining. Step 13. Foster cooperation. Lesson 13. The group's cooperation peaks. Each member excels. Mechanic fixes, teacher trains, banker funds. Hill's standing army thrives, their shop opening ahead of schedule. Step 14. Learn from failure. Lesson 14. A breakdown delays a job. Third turning point. John analyzes it, upgrading the van. Hill's lesson turns failure into fuel. Reliability becomes their edge. Step 15. Embrace tolerance. Lesson 15. A rival mechanic badmouths John's crew. He responds with tolerance, offering a truce. Soon, they share overflow work. Hill's bridge building wins loyalty. Step 16. Live the golden rule. Lesson 16. John treats clients and rivals as he'd wish to be treated. Fair prices, honest work. Hill's law completes the cycle. By 35, his shop earns $60,000 yearly, exceeding his aim, built on goodwill. Synthesis and reflection. Lesson 16's golden rule isn't an add-on. It's the glue binding Hill's laws, ensuring success endures through integrity. The conclusion reflects a journey from belief to action, failure to triumph, self to society. John's story mirrors Hill's examples. Ford, Edison, Carnegie, showing these steps aren't for giants alone, but for anyone with grit and a plan. The narrative thrums with Hill's dual legacy: practical tools, saving, focus, and timeless virtues, tolerance, ethics. Each step builds on the last, a ladder from dream to reality. Today, I might apply this, forming a mastermind with peers, aiming to launch a blog, saving for tools, and giving readers more than expected. Hill's voice rings. Success is a system. Work it, and it works for you. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and please remember to subscribe to receive notification of upcoming recordings. See you in next video.